love, pain, truth.
Lily was 23 years old when her world turned upside down. She lived in a small apartment with her stepmother, Margaret, after her father passed away from a long illness. Her father had been a kind man who owned a small printing business. But after he died, Margaret took control of everything. She was a cold woman who cared only about money and status. Lily had no blood family left. Her mother had died when she was a baby, so she had nowhere to go. She worked at a local bookstore for little pay, and Margaret took most of her earnings. One evening, Lily came home from work to find Margaret sitting at the dining table with a strange smile. That smile never meant anything good. Margaret held a newspaper in her hands. On the front page was a photo of a man named Vincent Cole. He was the youngest CEO of a huge company called Sterling Group. His face was hard and his eyes looked empty. The headline said he was the most powerful businessman in the city. Margaret pointed at his photo and said, "You are going to marry him." Lily thought it was a joke. She laughed nervously, but Margaret's face remained serious. She explained that she had been talking to Vincent's advisors. Vincent needed a wife because his company's board members wanted him to be a family man. It was a condition for a big deal with another company. Margaret had offered Lily as the bride. In return, Margaret would get a large sum of money to pay off her gambling debts. Lily felt her heart drop. She refused. She said she would never marry a stranger. But Margaret had already signed papers. She told Lily that if she did not agree, she would throw her out of the house with nothing. Lily had no savings, no car, and no friends who could take her in. She was trapped. A week later, Lily was standing in a large courthouse. Vincent Cole was beside her. He was tall and broad-shouldered. His suit was black and expensive, but his face showed no emotion. He did not look at her. He did not speak to her. The judge read the vows. Lily whispered her part with a shaking voice. Vincent said his part like he was reading a shopping list. A ring was placed on her finger. It was cold and heavy. Then it was done. She was Mrs. Cole. After the ceremony, a black car took them to Vincent's estate. It was a huge house on a hill. Iron gates opened slowly. The driveway was long and lined with tall trees. The house looked like a dark castle. Lily felt small and scared. A butler showed her to a large bedroom. The bed was big enough for 4 people. The sheets were white and cold. Vincent did not come to the room. Lily sat on the edge of the bed, waiting. She did not know what was expected of her. She had heard stories about powerful men and their cold hearts. She prayed that the night would pass quickly. Around midnight, she heard a noise from downstairs. It was a loud crash. Then she heard footsteps running. She was scared but also curious. She left the room and followed the sound. The hallway was dark. She found a staircase that led to a private study. The door was open. Inside, Vincent was lying on the floor. His face was pale. His body was shaking. A glass of water had fallen and broken on the floor. He was holding his chest. His eyes were open, but he could not speak. Lily ran to him. She did not know what to do, but she remembered that her father had similar attacks when his heart was weak. She checked Vincent's pulse. It was very weak. She found a phone on the desk and called for an ambulance. While waiting, she lifted his head and put it on her lap. She talked to him to keep him awake. She said anything that came to her mind. She told him about the bookstore, about the books she loved, about the flowers in the garden. His breathing slowly became more steady. The ambulance arrived in 10 minutes. The medics took over. They put him on a stretcher and rushed him to the hospital. Lily went with them. She held his hand during the ride. His fingers were cold, but he held on to her. At the hospital, doctors said Vincent had a severe heart condition that he had hidden from everyone. The stress of the wedding and the new marriage had caused an attack. They said if Lily had not found him in time, he would have died. She saved his life that night. When Vincent woke up in the hospital bed, he saw Lily sleeping in a chair beside him. Her face was tired. Her dress was wrinkled. Her hand was still holding his. For the first time in many years, Vincent Cole felt something other than coldness. He felt a small warmth in his chest. It was not from his heart medicine. It was from her. A single night changed everything. When Vincent returned home a week later, he did not treat Lily like a stranger. He looked at her differently. He asked the butler to prepare the master bedroom for both of them. He started eating breakfast at the same table as her. He even asked her what books she liked. Lily was confused but also relieved. She thought maybe he was not as cruel as the newspapers said. But she did not know that this small change was only the beginning. Vincent's board members noticed he was acting softer. His enemies saw an opportunity. His life was about to take a dangerous turn, and Lily would be pulled into the middle of it all. A month passed since the wedding night. Vincent had changed in many small ways. He no longer worked 18 hours a day. He started coming home before midnight. He asked Lily to join him for dinner. At first, their conversations were short and awkward. He asked about her day. She told him about the books she was reading. He listened, which surprised her. She had expected him to ignore her, but his eyes stayed on her face when she spoke. He even smiled once. It was a small smile, but it made him look younger and less scary. Lily slowly felt less afraid. She learned that Vincent had grown up in a harsh house. His father was a businessman who believed emotions were weak. His mother left when he was 10. He was sent to boarding schools where he learned to hide his feelings. He built his company from nothing. He fought many enemies. He had no friends, only partners and rivals. He had never been in love. He did not know how to be kind. But Lily's simple act of saving his life had cracked open a door inside him. He wanted to know more about her. One evening, Vincent took Lily to a charity event. It was his first public appearance with her as his wife. The hall was full of rich people in expensive clothes. They all looked at Lily with curious eyes. Some smiled falsely. Others whispered behind their hands. Lily felt like a deer surrounded by wolves. But Vincent stayed close to her. He put his hand on her back. He introduced her as his wife. His voice was firm. No one dared to say anything bad. Then a man approached them. His name was Marcus Webb. He was a rival CEO who had tried to buy Vincent's company many times. Marcus was tall with slick hair and a sharp smile. He congratulated Vincent on the marriage. Then he looked at Lily and said, "I hope you know what you signed up for. Your husband has many enemies. Some of them are in this room." Vincent's face turned hard. He stepped in front of Lily and told Marcus to leave. Marcus laughed and walked away, but his words stayed in Lily's mind. That night, back at the estate, Vincent sat in his study for a long time. Lily brought him a cup of tea. She found him staring at a stack of papers. His face was tense. He told her that Marcus was trying to take over Sterling Group. He had been buying shares secretly. He was also spreading lies about Vincent to the board members. The heart attack had made Vincent weak in their eyes. They thought he was no longer fit to lead. Vincent said, "They smell blood. They are waiting for me to fall." Lily did not know what to say. She put the tea on his desk and sat across from him. She said, "Then do not fall." The next morning, Vincent went to work determined. But his body was still recovering. He pushed himself too hard. He missed meals. He stopped sleeping. Lily noticed he looked pale again. She started sending food to his office. She left notes on his pillow saying small things like, "Eat lunch," or "Rest for 1 hour." He did not listen at first. But one day, he came home early with a headache so bad he could not see. Lily called his doctor. The doctor said Vincent needed to reduce stress immediately or he would have another attack, which could be fatal. That was when Lily decided to take action. She did not know anything about business, but she knew about people. She started going to Vincent's office with him. She sat in the corner during his meetings. She watched how his employees talked to him. She noticed that some of them were loyal. Others looked nervous, like they were hiding something. She wrote down names in a small notebook. Vincent thought she was just bored, but she was watching. One afternoon, she overheard two managers talking in the break room. They mentioned a name she recognized. It was one of Vincent's closest advisors, a man named Richard Hale. Richard had been with Vincent for 10 years. But the managers said Richard had been meeting with Marcus Webb in secret. Lily felt her stomach turn. She told Vincent that night. Vincent did not believe her at first. He said Richard was like a brother to him. But Lily insisted he check. Vincent made a few calls. Within an hour, he found proof. Richard had been sharing company secrets with Marcus for months. Vincent fired Richard the next day. The board was shocked. But Vincent told them the truth. Some board members turned against him because they had also taken money from Marcus. Others stayed loyal. A battle for control of Sterling Group began. Marcus Webb did not take the loss quietly. He started a smear campaign against Vincent. He told the newspapers that Vincent was weak and sick. He said Vincent was being controlled by his young wife. Reporters camped outside the estate. They wrote stories that made Lily look like a gold digger. Lily received nasty messages online. Strangers called her names. She stopped going outside. She cried in her room at night. But she did not tell Vincent because he was already fighting too many battles. Then things got worse. One morning, Lily found a dead bird on the front doorstep. A note was tied to its leg. The note said, "Leave him or you will be next." Lily was terrified. She wanted to run away. But she remembered that she had no family, no money, and no place to go. She also remembered that Vincent had no one else. If she left, he would be alone. So she stayed. She burned the note. She did not tell anyone. That night, she slept with a pair of scissors under her pillow. She was scared, but she was also stubborn. Her stepmother had forced her into this marriage. But she decided she would not be a victim anymore. Vincent noticed she was quieter than usual. He asked if she was okay. She lied and said yes, but he did not believe her. He started sleeping on the couch in his study so she could have the bedroom to herself. He thought she needed space, but the truth was that the enemies were closing in. Marcus had hired someone to watch the house. Vincent's security team found a hidden camera near the garden. Someone had been inside the property. Vincent knew he had to protect Lily. He hired more guards. He told Lily not to leave the house without him. She felt like a prisoner in her own home, but she also felt something new. She felt anger, not at Vincent, at the people who wanted to destroy him, and at herself for being scared for so long. She decided that if anyone tried to hurt her or Vincent, she would fight back. That decision would soon be tested. 2 more months passed. The war between Vincent and Marcus had grown ugly. Marcus managed to get 3 board members on his side. He called for a vote to remove Vincent as CEO. The vote was scheduled for the first Monday of the next month. If Vincent lost, he would lose everything. His company, his money, his reputation. He would be nothing. Vincent worked day and night to save his business. But his health was failing again. He lost weight. His eyes had dark circles. He coughed often. The doctor warned him that another heart attack would kill him. Lily watched him fall apart. She tried to help, but Vincent pushed her away. He said she did not understand business. He said she was just a girl from a bookstore. Those words hurt her deeply, but she did not cry in front of him. Instead, she went to the library in the estate and started reading everything she could about corporate law, shareholder rights, and hostile takeovers. She stayed up all night for a week. She filled 3 notebooks with notes. She learned that Vincent had one advantage. He owned 35% of the company's shares. Marcus owned 28%. The rest were owned by small investors. If Vincent could convince just a few of those small investors to vote with him, he could win. Lily made a list of all the small investors. There were 53 of them. Most were retired business people who had bought shares years ago. They did not care about Marcus or Vincent. They cared about money. So Lily wrote a letter to each of them. She did not use fancy words. She wrote simply. She explained that if Marcus took over, the company's value would drop because Marcus planned to sell off the best parts. But if Vincent stayed, the company would grow. She included numbers she had learned from the library. She signed the letters as Lily Cole, wife of the CEO. She mailed them without telling Vincent. A week before the vote, something terrible happened. Lily went to the grocery store with a guard. While she was looking at vegetables, 2 men grabbed her. They covered her mouth and pulled her into a van. The guard was knocked out. The van drove away fast. Lily kicked and screamed. One of the men hit her face. She tasted blood. Her head spun. They tied her hands and covered her eyes. The van drove for what felt like an hour. When it stopped, they pulled her out and pushed her into a dark room. She heard a familiar voice. It was Marcus Webb. He said, "Hello, Mrs. Cole. Your husband has something I want. And now I have something he wants." Marcus called Vincent. He told Vincent to drop out of the CEO vote or Lily would be hurt. He gave Vincent 24 hours. Vincent was in a meeting when he got the call. He left the room immediately. His face went white. He called the police. He called his security team. They tracked the van's route. But Marcus had changed cars 3 times. They could not find Lily. Vincent felt true fear for the first time in his adult life. He realized that Lily was not just a wife on paper. She was the only person who had ever been kind to him without wanting anything in return. She had saved his life. She had stood by him when others ran. He could not lose her. Vincent called Marcus back. He agreed to step down. He said he would sign the papers, but he demanded to hear Lily's voice first. Marcus put Lily on the phone. Her voice was shaking, but she said, "Vincent, do not give him anything. I saw papers in his office. He is lying about his shares. He only owns 20%. He made up the rest." Marcus snatched the phone away. He screamed at Lily, but Vincent had heard enough. He now knew Marcus was bluffing. He told the police about the fake shares. The police got a warrant to search Marcus's office. They found forged documents. Marcus was arrested that night. Lily was found in a warehouse on the edge of town. She was scared and bruised, but she was alive. Vincent drove to the warehouse himself. He ran inside. He found Lily sitting on the floor with her hands still tied. He fell to his knees and untied her. He pulled her into his arms. He held her for a long time. He did not say anything. He just held her. Lily cried into his chest. She had been so brave, but now she let herself be weak. She said, "I was so scared." Vincent whispered, "I am sorry. I am so sorry. I will never let anyone hurt you again." The vote happened as scheduled. Without Marcus, his supporters fell apart. Vincent kept his position as CEO. He immediately announced changes. He gave employees better pay. He started a charity for women in danger. He also fired every board member who had worked with Marcus. But the biggest change was in his heart. He looked at Lily differently now. He saw her strength. He saw her courage. He saw a woman who had been forced into a marriage but chose to stay and fight. One evening, they sat in the garden. The sun was setting. Vincent took Lily's hand. He said, "I did not marry you because I wanted to, but I want to stay married to you because I need you. Not for business. For me." Lily looked at him. His eyes were soft. She said, "I did not want to marry you, but I am glad I did." Vincent smiled. A real smile. Then he said something he had never said to anyone. He said, "I love you." Lily felt warmth spread through her chest. She said, "I love you too." The stepmother, Margaret, heard about all of this. She came to the estate asking for more money. She said she would tell the newspapers that the marriage was forced. Vincent did not give her money. Instead, he offered to pay for her to go to a rehabilitation center for her gambling addiction. If she refused, he would sue her for fraud. Margaret had no choice. She agreed. Lily never saw her again. Vincent and Lily built a real life together. He learned to be gentle. She learned to be confident. They traveled to places Lily had only read about in books. They adopted a dog from a shelter. They had 2 children, a boy and a girl. Vincent taught his son to show emotions. He told his daughter that she could be anything she wanted. He often told people that the best decision he ever made was marrying a woman he did not choose. And Lily often said that the worst night of her life, the night she was forced to marry a powerful CEO, became the best thing that ever happened to her. Because after a single night, his life took a turn. And so did hers.